Have you ever wondered what might happen if a tiny baby squirrel came face to face with a fully grown cat? I thought I knew the answer, that the hunting instinct would lead to a cruel ending. But then one day, I found a tiny, fragile little squirrel trembling in the palm of my hand. Its eyes were wide, shiny with fear, as though it did not know how much longer it would survive. I just wanted to give it a safe place, a bit of warmth, but I did not expect the house cat to walk into the scene. When I set the squirrel down, my heart pounded like mad. The cat sat there, its gaze sharp, watching every tiny movement. I knew the blood of a predator still ran in it, and in that moment my fear welled up. What if that instinct kicks in? If it pounces, it will all be over in an instant. The cat began to move. Its steps were as light as a ghost, silently creeping closer to the trembling little squirrel wrapped in a towel. I nearly held my breath. Every beat of my heart felt like a warning drum. The little squirrel curled into a ball, eyes wide, unsure whether to run or hide. And the cat, its sharp gaze never leaving the target. In my head, I had only one fear. Could this be its last moment? When they were just a few feet apart, the air in the room seemed to thicken. I could hear the soft scratch of the cat's paws on the wooden floor, each movement deliberate yet controlled. The squirrel trembled, breathing fast, its tiny feet gripping the edge of the towel. I clenched my hands, half wanting to rush in and scoop up the squirrel, half afraid I might just stir up the cat's predatory instinct. Then that moment came. The cat lowered its head, so close that its warm breath brushed the tiny body. I closed my eyes for a split second, barely daring to look. But instead of a bite, I heard a gentle, warm sound, the soft lapping of a tongue. When I opened my eyes, I was stunned. The cat was gently licking the squirrel's head with its soft pink tongue. Its eyes had softened, not the cold, sharp look of a predator, but the gentleness of a mother. The squirrel seemed just as surprised. It stood still for a few seconds, its small ears trembling. Then, as though finding safety, it nudged into the cat's fur, nestling against its chest to find warmth. The cat made no move to resist. In fact, it curled its body into a little nest to shelter the fragile creature. Seeing that scene, my heart burst with emotion. All my fear and tension melted away, replaced by an overwhelming, choked-up sense of awe. In the days that followed, the miracle became even more evident. The squirrel, which had once jumped at every sound, trembling with fear, gradually calmed whenever the cat was near. It followed the cat's every step, looking up as though seeking protection. The cat, once proud and aloof, now lay patiently letting the squirrel climb onto its back, even as the squirrel playfully bit at its tail without a hint of annoyance. Sometimes, I would see the cat grooming the squirrel, and the squirrel would close its eyes in blissful trust, as if believing it had truly found a mother. On some afternoons, they would lie side by side in the golden sunlight, the cat dozing with half-closed eyes while the squirrel curled up in its soft fur. I stood there silently, feeling a warmth in my chest that is hard to describe, a deep hope that in this world, some things can rise above instinct and transcend species boundaries. That moment I had feared most, what seemed destined to end in tragedy, became the beginning of an extraordinary story. From what felt like an impossible relationship, the cat and the squirrel found each other, as if love had the power to erase every difference. And I, from my position as an observer, witnessed it in a choked-up stillness, and silently thought, maybe love is the strongest instinct any living being carries within. From that very first moment, life in my little home changed. Every day, I watched the miraculous bond grow between two beings from completely different worlds. The squirrel, once weak and terrified, was now bold and full of life. It scurried around the house and sometimes jumped up onto the cat's shoulders as though claiming a private playground. The cat, once a predator by nature, had become a companion, a silent protector to the little squirrel. Some mornings, I would see the cat gently touch the squirrel with its nose to wake it. Then they'd wander the house together, like inseparable friends. On cold nights, the squirrel would seek out the cat's warm embrace to snuggle into, and the cat would curl around it, as though motherhood had replaced the instinct to hunt. Every gesture, every look, every moment between them showed me that love can overcome even the harshest boundaries that nature sets. If anyone asked me what miracle I had ever seen, I would not hesitate to answer. It is the moment when a cat and a squirrel, two creatures, naturally enemies, became friends, even family. Because this is not just a story about animals, it is a profound lesson for humans, that we too sometimes carry barriers, biases, limits we think cannot be overcome. But if we open our hearts, if we dare to see each other with love, we can find connection, forgiveness, and companionship we never imagined. Watching the cat and the squirrel lying together, I realized a simple yet powerful truth. Love knows no species, no instinct, no disbelief. That reason tells us is impossible. It rises above everything, quietly yet steadfastly, and ultimately triumphs. Perhaps that is the real miracle, not one needing bright lights or applause, but one that requires only a heart that loves and a soul willing to embrace. And when I share this story, I want to send a message to anyone listening. Believe that even in situations that seem full of danger, even when instinct says it will end badly, love can still write a different ending, warmer, more human, and infinitely more beautiful. Because in the end, love is the deepest instinct every living being carries within.